Hello and happy holidays and welcome to another episode of Around the Verse. I'm Sandy Gardner.
And I'm Chris Roberts, and happy holidays to all you guys too.
Yes, 3.4 is coming to you very soon, TM.
Very well, like very soon. So
Yes.
it will be live in your hands, almost any moment now. So and hopefully you guys will have fun with it. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff in it. I mean, it's not been that long since our last release. So we have the Central Business District in Lorville, which is the monument to the Hurston dynasty, and is a completely different vibe and feel than the L19 living area that you can be in a hab, and the TISA spaceport, which is all sort of where the common workers are. This is this incredibly grandiose building with huge arch ceilings, and it's almost cathedral-like inside, and it's a testimony to the wealth of the Hurston family. And it has a new mission giver inside. So Constantine Hurston is in the main building, and he will give you missions on behalf of the Hurston family.
Very cool.
We also have another mission giver in Levski, down in the bowels somewhere. You have to go find him, called Wallace Klim. And we spent a bit of time getting the various missions to work, including the downed relay mission that we showed at CitizenCon. And in general, getting the mission givers and their missions to work properly, because there were some issues with 3.35/6/7. So that should all be going. Then we also have some new ships, which is very cool. The
Yes.
Hawk, which we had announced last year during the anniversary sale, is now actually in the game. You can fly it, so if you're a bounty hunter, you'll probably be pretty excited about that.
Exciting.
The Freelancer variants are now in, and that's very cool. The Freelancer is sort of one of it's one of the original ships that when we launched the game, and it's named it's named as a nod to Freelancer the game, but also it's a trading ship, and so that's a large amount of what you can do, and
exploring.
but you can have a decent amount of cargo, and the Freelancer Max allows you to have a larger amount of cargo than the base Freelancer does. The duration, the Freelancer Dura allows you to go longer distances, which will tie into some of our new quantum drive and jump point mechanics. And then we've got the Miss, which is the sort of missile sort of cruiser version that can have a whole bunch of missiles that can blast at you. So that's pretty cool. There's a couple of little things like 600i Touring module that will be there, and I think the Reliant core.
Yeah, Reliant.
Just the base ones had a little bit of moving around, and the cargo section works in it. So yeah, there's some cool stuff, and there'll be a little bit more stability and some more quality of life improvements with comms and the kind of Spectrum chat stuff, turrets. So anyway, hopefully you guys will like it and have some fun over the holidays.
Yes, excellent. So go check that out. And we have some news regarding Squadron 42. Inquiring minds want to know about the roadmap.
Well, there you are. Yeah, no,
yes.
It's been quite a way in the making. I know that we said last year we would have a roadmap, but it's taken.
So what took you so long?
It's taken a lot. Well, I mean, essentially, the team themselves did not feel comfortable sharing the roadmap earlier this year, because they wanted to do enough work to validate all the remaining tasks, and not just at a high level. This is having the team themselves, so the various groups down the leads and the team members, to look at the tasks, break them down, give estimates on the tasks. So it's it was a lot of sort of bottom up working to end up with the roadmap we have now. So it's taken fair amount of time. It became more complex because we also have Star Citizen to consider. So some of the tasks are the same between Star Citizen and Squadron. Some of the tasks are not. Some of the tasks are subsets. Some of the tasks are supersets. So we had to get all that worked in our system, because the roadmap is a full reflection of our internal Jira task tracking system.
So what are some of the, with caveats, what are some of the outstanding things on the roadmap?
I think I said in CitizenCon that, in terms of Squadron, I mean, we've been working on this for quite a long time, and we're definitely on the downhill slope now. It's we're publishing this, we're showing a sort of 6-quarter schedule where by the end of 19, we'll have pretty much all our features done, and then in Q1 of 20, we're doing optimization, and it's sort of the alpha phase, and polishing and hardening phase, and the finishing the levels, the chapters. And Q2 would be the beta phase, where it's mostly just bug testing and continued polishing.
So I should keep my time free next summer?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, so anyway, that's sort of our time horizon that we've been working on, and it's a lot of work, but on a caveat basis, it's similar to what we do on the PU. So some of these tasks may take longer than we have estimated. There may be some unforeseen problems. I will say that the uncertainty, the R&D technology aspects are much less of an issue or risk now on Squadron, because the biggest remaining one was really object container streaming, and we've got mostly that sorted on the PU Star Citizen side. We still have a little bit, because some of the server side technology for object container streaming is needed for Squadron 42, because Squadron 42 is basically a server and a client altogether. But once that's online, we'll be able to stream this really high detailed world, keep the frame rates up, which is really important.
What about the crappy AI in the
PU? Don't beat around the bush on the AI there. No, the AI is probably the biggest, I would say, remaining unknown or risk, partly because we're going for a really high level of AI. We've been spending a lot of time building sort of the building blocks and base stuff, so people aren't really appreciating the potential of what the AI can do. So some of the AI you see in the PU is, leaves a lot to be desired. Some of the flight AI,
nice way of putting it.
Some of the flight AI is sort of we've been developing that with the new IFCS, which isn't yet in the PU, but will be in the 3.5 release. If I was going to put my finger on one thing that would be a risk on the schedule, it would be us executing all the AI, mostly because at the moment we have, I think, about 4 AI programmers, and we need probably another 3 to 4 AI programmers to really feel like we've got it sort of covered. And
what about you? Can you AI program?
Well, it's been a long time since I've done that kind of programming. I mean, I've got a lot of other things that I've been working on.
So they'd be just as crappy as if you tried.
No, it wouldn't be so crappy.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Okay. I nominate you just in case we can't find that extra programmer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have that often to do some programming.
Okay.
But anyway, if there's anyone on an AI front, we are looking for AI programmers or gameplay programmers that are interested in AI. And we're looking to repurpose some of our internal engineers into the AI side, because that's what we see as the big risk on Squadron.
That's plan B.
Yeah, so that would essentially be the risk, and then the other risk would just be the amount of time it takes to sort of get all the content in and polish it up.
Does that mean I need like a couple of mega titans or something to make this run smoothly?
Well, I don't. So I think relatively, our goal, and that's why we have a whole bunch of optimization tasks at the end, but our goal is to make the game itself run pretty buttery smooth. So the objective would be to try to have gameplay that is at least 30, but definitely closer to 60 frames a second. I mean, 60 is our goal. And I think we have a good shot at doing that, because in a single player game like Squadron, you don't have all the issues of multiplayer that we have in the PU. And as people have been seeing, we've been getting really nice frame rates in the PU, and that's with 50 other players, and the issues you have with networking and the processing that you have up on the server. So I think we've got a very we will have the performance of the game in Squadron will be a really nice, smooth, fluid experience, and that is definitely our goal.
I'm going to hold you to that. I will hold you to that. So
I'm sure
besides,
there's a few other people that will be doing that too.
Yeah. So going through the roadmap with a fine-tooth comb, are you sure you've removed all the spoilers, because the fans will find them?
Well, some of them. I mean, it's always a delicate balance to share the stuff we're working on and then not share things that will give away the story. So, for instance, on the chapters, we don't have chapter descriptions because it would definitely give the story away. So sorry if they're a bit generic. I mean, we've actually broken the one thing I would say is the roadmap itself is kind of set up slightly different than the one for Star Citizen / the PU because we have two parts to it. One, the more traditional bit, which is the feature part, which is set up a lot more like you've seen on the PU one, where it's laid out per quarter, the various tasks, the engineering tasks, the asset tasks, so like if we're making a character or a spaceship or a weapon or a prop or something like that. So you can see how those stack up like you do on the PU one. But then on top of that, because Squadron 42 is a narrative story game, it's got these different, what we call chapters. And a chapter is really a sort of, it can be it's the equivalent of a collection of, say, missions that you would have had back in, say, Wing Commander's days. But, you can start on a ship, you can fly, you can be given a mission, land on another ship or land on a location, get involved in FPS combat, get back in your ship, go somewhere else, get in a dogfight, then go and land on another area, get involved in FPS combat, get back in your ship, come back to your home ship, land, and then talk and catch up with everyone doing on the crew. And that could just be, that's an example of, say, a chapter that would be something
within
you do in the game.
Within the whole.
And some of them are bigger than other ones. Some are pretty epic, some are a little more contained and smaller. And those are tracked on the sort of overview page that we have on the roadmap, where you can go and you can see where they are at their various levels, whether it's we're still in the white box level.
I'm going to cut you off now because you just got to hurry up and finish already. Because it's like telling me about the chapters, but you can't really tell me. Well,
she's going to say that
because it's like spoiler alert.
It will track the the level where you are, like we're white box playable, gray box, full production, polish, which is when everything's in, but we're just sort of polishing and hardening the level. And so you'll be able to track where those are, and a combination of getting to the end there where we're in the polish phase and getting the features done is when the game is basically in beta.
Great. So how often are you going to update that so I can so I don't have to hit F5?
Well, we're going
to 18 months.
We'll update it sort of with the same regularity that we do with the Star Citizen PU one. So we scrape our Jira database, I think every week, and then it will get updated.
So I know there's some things on the Squadron Roadmap, things like swimming, for example, that people are looking forward to in the PU, but it's actually not on the PU roadmap. So what's the deal with that?
Okay, so in finalizing everything we need to get done for Squadron, there's a lot of various, say, actor features or ship features that we needed to say, okay, this has got to happen. So things like vaulting, mantling, sliding, swimming, they're all things that we say, okay, yes, we'll have an aspect that you could use some of this in Squadron, so it has to be working. So we had to make sure that most of this stuff was already on the backlog, but we hadn't sort of fully broken it down or scoped it fully that people felt comfortable making it, putting a stake in the ground and showing it in the PU roadmap. But we had to do that for Squadron, so now that we've done the work for Squadron, they'll reflect across into the PU roadmap. So a bunch of the features that you'll see in the Squadron roadmap will also now reflect across into the PU roadmap because obviously things that you do with your character or things you do with spaceships, a lot of it is consistent across both games. So the work that we did for Squadron really sort of will help give even more detailed definitions to the PU roadmap.
Excellent. So thank you for being grilled.
Yes, I enjoy being grilled.
Yes, I'm sure the community
I show up every week
it.
just to be grilled.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, in other news, if you haven't already, go check out our newly relaunched corporate website.
Yeah, looking quite slick.
Yes, cloudimperiumgames.com. And we have quite a few job postings there. So,
as mentioned in the Squadron 42, there's a few people out there that have the talent and would like to be, helping us bring Squadron 42 to completion and Star Citizen, then yes, please give us I don't know if you give us a shout or email or whatever it will be.
That's an English term, a shout.
But yeah, no, it's we've put the site together to have a better corporate site and a good place for recruiting and letting people know about the various studios and also be a place that we can put various corporate announcements on.
Yes, and we've grown. If you look at our studio pictures, we have grown. So it is an exciting time to work at Cloud Imperium Games. And there's also some other exciting news.
Speaking of corporate news.
Yes, speaking of corporate news, there's exciting news. What is the exciting news? Chris, tell us the exciting news.
Well, you know, we sent out a letter to all you guys, and it's on our corporate website, but we've taken on an investment that I think is going to really secure our independence. So we've, you know, I think you guys have known, I've said from the beginning of the campaign that all the money that we've been bringing in on crowdfunding is going towards Star Citizen, it's going towards Squadron 42, it's going towards development.
Yep.
And we've been upholding that side of the bargain, and that is something I feel really strongly about. But of course, as an ongoing business, we have some other needs, like, for instance,
marketing.
Yeah, well, Squadron 42, we're now sort of on the downhill ramp. We're, you know, 18 months away, looking like, from when we have to be ready to release it. And as you tell me all the time, you have to start doing start the preparation and planning and booking and all the rest of the stuff for the marketing long before.
Yes, I have actually had this plan for a very long time, and it has shifted and shifted and shifted. And finally, I feel like we might have an actual plan that I can execute.
There you go. And then so then the other aspect is being able to you know, do that properly, being able to fund it without having to go to someone. You know, there's a lot of other people in the crowdfunding world anyway that have raised the money, made the game, and then partnered with someone like a publisher to release the game in a wider format. But we don't want to do that. We've always, you know, I value the independence. We've been able to have the independence because of all you guys, and we really appreciate it. And so for us, it was really important to be able to control our own destiny. And this is really going to enable us to do that, and also have all the money that comes in on the sort of game front, the crowdfunding, go to the development without having. I never wanted to take any of that money and spend it on you know, ads that we would buy in places. So this for me is the best of both worlds. It gets sort of great independence. We have security, war chest. We can do various things as well as you know, build the best damn space sim out there. So there you go. Happy about it. It's
yes. Good. All right. Well, that is a lot of news, a lot to download. Go check out the roadmap, the website, read your letter.
We even have some financials.
Yes.
That's another big thing, but we're not going to put it in this show. You guys can go there.
Go check that out.
Lots of information today.
Yes, lots of info. Thanks, as always, to the subscribers for sponsoring this show and all of our shows. Another example of an amazing community, that would be you, that makes my job as marketing a very creative one, let's put it that way. But power to all of you, because I could not do that.
Yes, absolutely, and I second that. And obviously a huge thanks to each and every one of you guys out there that have backed and supported the game. You know, we've never been more excited about our projects, and we owe all of that to you.
Yes, we do. And until next time, we will see you around the verse.
Thanks for watching. For the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can check out some of the other shows, and you can also head to our website at www.robertspaceindustries.com. Thank you very much for watching.